What is up, Pewter peeps? Welcome in to a PewterCast post game here after the Buccaneers take a 38-31 victory in Indianapolis over the Colts. I am Steve Carney, Ren Dax, of course, always with me, and this is, of course, the show where we take your thoughts on the game as well. The PewterCast brought to you by BetUS.com as part of the Fansided Network. All right, Ren, let me ask you.
Sure.
What did your blood pressure do in the last, say, 30 seconds of that game?
I was fine. I mean, when the guy broke open for the kickoff, and he looked like he was, and I saw, it's usually like, hey, the punter's the last guy to get, or the kicker, and I see Pinion dive. I'm like, oh no! But then he took a few more steps, and Edwards had the angle, and thankfully got him out. I was okay with it. Like at one point when Fournette was running, I was like, he should not score. But for some reason, I thought that the Bucs were like winning by a point or something like that. I'm like, well, just don't score and then kneel it down twice and then we win. But then I guess, we didn't have to run it in the first place. So I'm glad Fournette scored. It started off shaky. The defense played a hell of a first quarter and ended up being behind how do you not give up a first down and end up losing after the first quarter? I mean, it's really hard to do. The Bucs found a way to do that. And then the second quarter, they were awful. Indianapolis changed up their game plan. They decided, well, obviously we can't run the ball, so we're going to do all this short passing, a la Rams, a la like other teams did to us. I meant Rams like 2 years ago. Other Patriots did it. The Rams did it again, obviously. So this extension of the running game and, have to click out, 11, 12, 13 play drives. But, the 5 to 7 yards is there automatically. So they went with that, put up 21 points in the second quarter. Bucs, they came out. They won the coin toss and they deferred.
Did you notice I said something about that?
No.
Right as T.Y. Hilton scored at the end of the first half.
Yeah, it's the same thing I was thinking.
I'm like, there's your 2 for 1. I'm like, there's another reason why if you win the coin toss, you defer because you can get the 2 for 1. And it looked like the way that the defense played in that second quarter, that Indianapolis was going to go have that 2 for 1 with no problem.
And they were driving right down the field, man.
They were.
And then Shaq Barrett came up with a very timely strip sack fumble and recovered it himself. And then that third quarter, the Bucs defense, they had the ball 3 times. I'm talking about the Colts. And the Bucs had made them cough up the ball twice, so they got the turnover twice. And the third quarter ended before their third drive actually ended. So, I mean, it was a great third quarter. They actually ended up sacking. Well, I guess he did get 2 yards, but a third down play where Shaq Barrett missed him, then Sue missed him, then JPP cleaned it up for like a 2-yard gain. They had to punt. So that was an awesome third quarter. And then the Colts came out and said, hey, we adjusted. Now they have adjusted. How about we adjust back to running the ball? And they went down the field. I mean, you really got – the defense frustrated me a lot this game. But at the end of the day, they only gave up 7 points after halftime, and they did the things they needed to do by giving the ball back to the offense. I can't believe we were like, what was it? It was going to be like first down on the 10-yard line with Indy about to go up like 17 points, and then by the end of the quarter, we're up. I know. It was like wow, boom, boom, 2 touchdowns off two turnovers, and we're up. So, lots to talk about. Go ahead.
They had 3 turnovers in that game in the second half.
Oh, yeah, the second half,
They had 3 in the second half, and then the Hail Mary was the 4th turnover of the half. But they turned those 3 turnovers into 17 points and had an opportunity. And Indy is very lucky that they didn't turn it into 21 points because they had a couple of really big pass deflections after the third turnover, and they had the tipped ball that negated a DPI in the end zone. Or,
Oh,
or
yeah,
it would have been,
yeah.
or it would have been first and goal at the 1, and that led to a field goal instead of a touchdown.
Speaking of that, I'm not really. I mean, we just won, put up 38 points, no defensive touchdown, so I'm not complaining. But like Mike Evans cannot be this small of a part of this offense. Like it just can't happen.
Yeah.
He got like 4 targets. 3 of them were within 2 yards of the line of scrimmage, and the other one was the tip ball in the end zone. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man. Like that can't happen, especially against another really piss poor defensive backfield. You know, the guy who we were told was their best guy, Rock Ya-Sin, had the worst game.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Yeah, Evans 5 targets, 3 catches for 16 yards. His long of the day was a 9-yard catch and run. That's it.
Yeah.
The guy that obviously Brady looked for was Rob Gronkowski,
Which is fine.
Which is fine. You expect that, especially because we were told on Wednesday by Josh Foster that the problem that the Colts had was in the secondary was with their safeties.
Right.
And so you knew that if you were going to have a linebacker or a safety on Rob Gronkowski, that was going to be the way that Brady was going to look, and that's exactly what happened in that game.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I'm with you. Well, we do have a guest, so
Yep.
I'm gonna go ahead and bring him in. I gotta find the right thing to do here.
First off, Tony, before we welcome in our first guest, while you're working on that, Ren,
Sure.
I want to give a shout out to Tony Saylor, who says we're so much better than the 620 post game, which, you know, we're less screamy. I'll say that for sure.
Oh, then the
especially-
620. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, okay. Look, Michael
Hey, I
Clayton
worked there for
Michael Clayton
15
was a
years. I love them
Buccaneer. He'll know more about football. Well, I don't know. I really don't know. The guy's an idiot. He just is. He's a turd.
I love both of them. I've known Michael Clayton since he was a rookie because he was one of the few guys that had when they were doing Bucs Total Access all week with different guys. He was a rookie and had his own show, and they gave him they let him sit in with Steve Dumig on Mondays, which was always fun. So I've known Michael Clayton since he left LSU, and so I'm always going to have an affinity for money.
Sure.
And but that's personal. I personally like Michael Clayton.
Yeah.
But
I
he
might
and
personally
T-Grass-
like him too.
and
But I only
and-
know him as a radio personality,
Yeah.
and the man's an idiot.
And of course T-Kraz is my boy, and he's I always love it when he goes all eruption style Vesuvius. So but I appreciate that you like us more than T-Kraz and Michael Clayton. We're definitely less screaming.
What's up, Richard?
Richard's in the house.
What's up, fellas? How you guys doing?
Good, brother. What's new with you?
We're complaining
Oh,
about
man.
how dumb Michael Clayton is as an analysis.
I mean,
I'm-
he had
he's not
one
terrible,
good
but he's not any
season.
good.
His rookie year was his best year. And
Yes, it was.
Yes,
that's kind of
yes.
Why it's since. But hey, that was 2004. It's 2021 now.
There you go, Richard. What'd you
So-
see? What'd you like? Talk to us.
Okay. All right. So here. Okay. So I'm here at work. Unfortunately, I missed the entire first half. So
Okay.
I'm walking back to the lab here where I work, and I see the update, and I'm like, oh, what kind of shit show am I about to walk into?
All right.
Then second half starts, and we steal their possession. We steal that possession with Shaq Barrett and the sack. We go down, we drive. So and then the Winfield interception on the following drive, which that was a very impressive interception by Winfield. I mean, he's
Yes, it was.
6'8". All right, he's what, 5'8", 5'9", and
I don't
Bateman
know.
Jr. is 6'2", 6'3". I mean,
Yeah.
that's
That was a tier 1
That's-
interception. And I
that
was mad
was
at
big.
Winfield before that.
you might need to explain to me as to why, because I
The first Colts touchdown, the big bomb. Like, I wanted the defense to play single high, put Mike Edwards down there, walk Whitehead down in the box, because that would help stop with Taylor. Put Winfield in the slot, play SMB and Dean on the outside, and obviously that had to change. And then take Levante David and plaster him all over Boyle, and then like make Carson Wentz beat you over the top. Well, what happened was that Winfield, who was playing middle of the field free safety, which means you don't let anybody behind you, let the guy behind him and made Sean Murphy-Bunting look like a fool, and they threw like a 61-yard bomb over everybody's head for a touchdown because Antoine Winfield bit on the out route.
Yeah,
like
special teams guy.
To a no-name guy, right?
First touchdown ever. First
zero
catch,
versus-
maybe. Who knows? First time he stepped on the field. I don't know. Yeah, he wasn't. Yeah. So anyway, I was mad at him then, and then he made. Then that's what he. But that's what he does to me. Like as soon as I get down on him for making bad angles, and being sort of the last line defender, he's not very good. But then he'll completely change the game with one of his splash plays, and you're like, well, I guess okay, I take the good with the bad, blah blah blah. But
well, I mean, look. He's a second-year player, right? And he's still ascending. So there's still a lot
Very
that
true.
Winfield still needs to learn. But, I mean, credit to Todd Bowles on that second half. I mean, they really crunched down in the second half, minus the Jonathan Taylor drive. But you know what? I mean, talking about Jonathan Taylor, I mean, except for that drive, he was pretty much contained the rest of the game. He was a non-factor up until that point.
Yeah, absolute non-factor.
And then he became a factor when he tied the game. So that was terrible. But what do you think that was? Do you think that was just because defense being tired, we're being on the road, or we're expecting them to pass? Well, what are your thoughts on why that was so successful on that?
Richard, they'd passed almost the entire second half. I mean, you look at it. Yeah, Taylor had, I think, one carry.
They didn't.
In the
they
third
ran
quarter.
the ball one time in the third quarter.
So
one time.
You saw pass, and you saw a lot of Naheem Hines in the backfield. They got into a spot where in the second quarter that sort of play was giving them a lot of success, and so they figured we're just going to keep going to the well. They can't stop it. Well, when they came out in the third quarter, Todd Bowles had made the adjustment to cut that off. And I mean, you saw
nice to see.
Oh my God. I mean, there were a couple of those plays where it was like, Murphy Bunting, nearly decleating T.Y. Hilton there on the pass out into the flat. And I was like, and so you saw a lot of that. And finally they decided, oh, maybe we will run the football again. So, they just got to a point where they had so much success in the second quarter that they felt like they could still keep on doing that, but they hit the brick wall that was the adjustments made at halftime.
Yeah, and Steve's absolutely right. And also, then the Colts readjusted. So here we're going to go back to the run game, and Todd Bowles stayed in his defense with the pressure being put out short to the outside of the flanks, because that's where they were finding success in the second quarter. And they started running the ball. Well, he gets like 3 yards, like, okay, you can live with that. Then he gets like 7 yards, like, okay, you can live with that. Then he gets like 11 yards, okay, well, let's go back to the 5-man front. Then he gets 6 yards, and like, okay, well, let's go to the 7-man front. By that time, they're already down inside the 20, and they just kind of punched it in from there. So, I fully expected if by that time there's less than 4 minutes left in the game. I think it was like 3:11 was left in the game. When they tied it up. So, but I expected a readjustment by Bowles. So that's what I think happened. It's like, okay, you're going to run the ball, but I'm not going to get out of my pressure outside short defense till you prove to me that you can run it consistently. And by the time they did, they're inside the 10 and they put it in. So I think that's what happened there. But I'm not going to be mad at the defense, for only giving up 7 points, in the second half, because that's obviously, that's what they needed to do, just enough. But the offensive started out slow. That second quarter was god awful. I always say this. I'm like, why do you have to wait till halftime to make adjustments? Like, I think you actually have more time, like actual physical time, when your team is driving. If they're doing a drive, like from actual true time, not game time, I think you actually have more time on the sidelines than you do during halftime. 'Cause halftime's only 15 minutes. It takes 2-3 minutes to get inside. Then you got to get your water. Then you got to get huddled up. And then you talk to him for like 5 minutes, but then you got 10 minutes in. Now you got to go back outside. You got to do your warm-ups. And the kickoff is right at that 15 minutes. So really you only got like 5-6 minutes to talk about it in the locker room. Why don't you just talk about it in the middle of the second quarter while your defense is there? I've never gotten that. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. It's just that it just frustrates me, like, because I think teams can sort of adjust on the fly a little quicker, and that's something that's always frustrated with Todd Bowles. But I will say more times than not, he comes out at halftime and the defense plays much better than if they're having a bad game. That they always seem to improve after halftime.
Yeah, they always somehow they turn it around, and the other team isn't as successul.
Right.
To do it, as we just saw.
Yeah.
As we've seen time and time again under Todd Bowles. I have a question for you guys because, again, I missed the first half, which I'm going to say, because I missed the first half and they played poorly, and then I started watching the second half, and then we ended up winning. You're welcome, Tampa. I started watching. It's my
It was
sorry,
you?
My apologies for a shitty first half.
Okay, well, all right. Well, we're going to hold you to that. So, if next time the Bucs lose, which, might be never,
That's
but
fine.
next time they
It's fine because I'm
do,
working.
there you go. There you go. Oh, Richard
because
must be
I'm
working.
Again.
The Bucs are losing by 20. Richard must be working.
It's like, damn you, Richard. Call out sick next time. Hey, what
Yeah,
happened
seriously.
to Aaron Stinney? Because I noticed
Knee.
Levert was out.
Leverett.
Yeah, Leverett was out there.
Leverett.
Yeah, Stinney came out with a knee injury in
Early.
the first quarter. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they went with Leverett for almost the entirety of the game. Like
I thought he did fine.
Yeah, I mean, going up against DeForest Buckner for crying
Yeah.
out loud.
As
Yeah.
a guy, and it's
Well-
the first time he's been active all year.
Yeah,
He's been active.
Welcome to the league, my friend.
Right. He gave up a sack, and I got a holding
call.
penalty, which was kind of garbage. I mean, he did hold him, but the play was 5 yards down the field when he just threw.
Yeah.
He just tossed the guy, and then he did something. Oh, and a false start. So, I mean, giving up a sack, holding penalty, a false start is not great, but having an All-Pro right in front of you as your first NFL game experience, I thought he held up well, to be honest.
Agree.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
if you-
they didn't call his name out very much. So
Yeah, he had a holding penalty, and he may have had 2 holding penalties.
I think it was two.
Yeah, and he gave up a sack to DeForest Buckner. That's going to happen because DeForest Buckner's like 7 feet tall and has the wingspan that can go sideline to sideline. But
he
for
wasn't
a guy,
Will Hernandez
Yeah, that's the truth.
last
right
week.
there.
Man, that poor
Oh,
guy.
God.
It was awful.
I feel we were joking about that, and then Pro Football Focus put out their grades last week, and Will Hernandez, out of 194 offensive linemen, was 194th. So,
Yeah, that was an ugly game. Wasn't
Wasn't he like a second round draft pick too?
Yeah.
yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
It was ugly.
yeah.
Yeah.
And he's playing guard.
I know.
Like he doesn't even play tackle anymore. They put him at guard. Like he just can't bend. I mean, I saw him at some type or something or other. I don't remember. I can't remember if it was on TV or I was watching. That was back when I was going to the Shrine practices, which are now out in Vegas, so I don't get to go to them anymore. And boo-hoo on that. But I mean, he's a huge dude, obviously. But it's like there's a metal pole right up his spine. Like he can't bend. He just can't
He has
bend.
no flexibility. Yeah.
None. And, and eventually, like, you can get away with that 22, 23, but when you hit 26, 27, like, he'll be out of the league by 30 because his body will be too beat up and he won't be able to finesse his way through it. He just,
Or he'll probably just be a backup somewhere.
yeah,
But-
yeah,
Probably.
You know what? But that's enough about Will Fernandez because
sure.
Yeah.
not a-
let's get back to this week instead.
Leonard, oh my God, Leonard
Right.
Fournette, what a wow!
I know.
I mean, just around this time last year, he was on the verge of being cut or being released
Right.
because he was not getting much game time. And now look at him; he's having multiple touchdown games. He's the feature back of the Super Bowl defending team.
Champions, yeah.
Like, what can't you say about him right now? I mean, even when he started the season off, he started the season off really slow, and now he's really turned things around. So he's catching everything his way. He's running through people. I mean, that last touchdown, oh my God! I ran out of the office just screaming.
and if you're watching on television, Kevin Burkhardt on Fox was hilarious. Who needs a field goal? And it's probably a good thing they didn't. They got the touchdown after what happened on the ensuing kickoff. But yeah, I mean, he got over 100 yards, 3 touchdowns on the ground. He had the receiving touchdown, and really the running game I thought did a fantastic job all around. You saw that. You saw Rojo get involved. He had a touchdown. I mean, they did an incredible job keeping the ball on the ground, which is something that I don't think I would expected them to be able to do, but they did a really fantastic job of it.
I mean, we were expecting us to pass all over them. You know, as you guys were saying leading into the show, that we're expecting Evans and Godwin to be like, dual 100-yard receivers after this game. But it's like we took the challenge of saying, "Oh, you guys can run the ball. We know that. So can we." And and we showed up.
Yeah.
Jonathan Taylor had his 5 touchdowns last week. Our Fournette had 4. So, man, that was great to see.
Yeah, I still love Rojo better as a runner, but I mean, Lenny.
The burst is there. Yeah.
Oh God, yeah. And Fournette's just so frustrating. He's like just like a slighter, better version of Michael Pittman. With the choppy feet, and it's like just hit the hole. You're like 235. Like, put your head down, bro. But then he does, and he kind of and he does that backpedal stuff, but he always falls forward. So it's like, oh, it's a 2-yard gain. Damn it, Lenny, and your choppy feet. And then he falls forward, and it's like 2nd and 4, and it's like, okay, fine.
Well, okay.
It's like you can't complain about it. It just doesn't look good. It's like Brady scrambling. It looks very painful, but the outcome's great, and he's been playing really well. But with his blitz pickup, pickup and the way he's catching the ball, man, like you can't get him out of there.
You know who he reminds me of more than
Michael Pittman?
More than Michael Pittman is LeGarrette Blount. Because LeGarrette Blount was that way. He used to do he would hit the hole and do the cha-cha slide in the hole while he was trying to figure out which way he wanted to go. The only difference is that Fournette, as you mentioned, falls forward, and LeGarrette used to fall to the side and back a lot. So, but very similar with the choppy feet.
I like that comparison because they both look like when they're running full speed that they don't look like they're running fast. They just look like they're just I don't know, going downhill, but not running fast. But,
and I will say, Fournette's been punishing some guys. I mean, he runs over a guy at least once a week now. He did it again this week, and so did Gronk. Gronk. Well, it's like trying to tackle like a tree trunk rolling downhill. It's like it's like how do you do
Gronk
that?
Needs to be on,
semi-truck.
Gronk needs to be on angry runs this week, man. He needs to be on angry runs.
Yeah,
what a difference maker that guy is for this offense, man.
That first down conversion where he caught the ball and needed to get 5 or 6 more yards.
7.
Yeah. he ended up running through 2 guys. He got a really good block from Chris Godwin and
Scotty Miller. Yeah.
But he put 2 guys on the ground. He ran over Odom like he wasn't even there.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Did a gust of wind hit me?" I'm going to keep going forward. Just unbelievable.
But the good news is, the Bucs put up 38 on the road. The defense showed up for 3 of the 4 quarters. So some of these things that we've been worried about, bad road team, can't score 30 on the road. Defense plays 120% better at home than they do on the road. Some of those things were squashed, and it was, and I feel that it was against the best team left on the schedule. We'll see when we get to Buffalo where they're at. But as today, I think Indy's a better team, and we won, and it was on the road, and
they're 500 away from Raymond James now.
Yeah, and they're undefeated at home. So the
last couple matchups with the Colts have just been so close. I know.
Yeah.
Gosh, 2019 when they played us at home? I mean, that was on par with this game almost coming down to the wire.
Darius Leonard, two picks. One was pick six.
Thank God he only had a forced fumble this time.
When Jameis Winston had his middle linebacker blindness attack him again.
That's my guy, right? No, that's a middle linebacker, you dumbass.
He could never see the middle linebacker for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
The color of the
56 is the mic, not your wide receiver.
56 is Cam Brate. 56 is Cam Brate.
54, 84, I don't know, it looks the same.
Yeah, exactly. I like that.
Hey,
What else you got for us, Richard? We've had a couple of people come in and drop out.
Cool. Well, I'll end it with this. Pierre Desir, revenge game. Yes.
All right.
Attaboy.
I don't know about that, but
there's the revenge game we want. There's the revenge game we want.
Hey, you just got to look for the silver lining and everything. We walked into Indy. We escaped with the win. We, like Ren said, we finally put 30 on the board. We ran over 100 yards. We had the running back with 3 touchdowns. A lot of things were put to bed this game. So
yeah,
let's just keep it going, keep it rolling, keep the momentum up, and go Bucs, man.
Yeah, go Bucs.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Richard.
Right. Thank you, Richard.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it.
Good job, man.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, there were a lot of looking at. You got to. I always laugh when Ren's got to change the
my camera.
Change the camera angle there. Looking at some of the comments on YouTube again. If you're watching us, we are. If you're listening to us on podcast, we are live after the game every Sunday or Monday if the game's on Monday or Thursday. If the game's on Thursday.
Sunday night.
Yeah, or Sunday night. But yeah, after every
or
game,
Tuesday,
we are live
for any reason
on YouTube. Oh, let's not talk about it. Let's not talk about games being played on Tuesdays. This is not 2020 when there's nobody in the stands.
Maybe a leap year Friday.
Oh, stop it!
All right.
Anyway, but if you're listening to us on podcast, we are live on YouTube post game after a 38-31 victory in Indianapolis, and I do laugh because I got a text from Josh Foster from Around the Block, who was on with us, and his 3 words: excellent game plan for the final drive of the game, which I was laughing. I was like, yeah, and what a crazy finish as well. But like I said, Tom Brady has a habit of causing fans in Indianapolis lots of heartache.
Yeah, right. I didn't know he was like 15-4 against them. Oh my God.
Yeah,
now he's 16-4. I would talk about hating somebody. Like I would be throwing shovels and spitting. Yeah. Like, oh my God, 16-4.
Colts fans and Bills fans. He's also like some ridiculous number against the Buffalo Bills as well.
I'm sure he's with the Dolphins and the Jets too. But
yeah,
it's just like Snowflake. You there? Snowflake came back after Robert. I'm gonna bring him up. See, there I peeled his head up. There he is.
Sorry.
It's
okay. It's cool, man. How are you?
I'm good. I'm pumped, man. I'm freaking excited. I just want to say truthfully that I think Jason needs to get some more credit from everybody, man. Like looking back, I think obviously we can be like, oh, look at Gronk. Gronk had a hell of a game. He killed it. But I just think Mike Edwards, 4th round pick, forced the fumble. Alex Kappa on that touchdown that we sealed the game and we got the W. Seeing him pull and set the hedge and getting that block, 4th round pick, fucking Humboldt State. Like we had a bunch of kicking woes, obviously with all the kickers that we ran through, but
right.
See Ryan Suckup finally fucking settling and he's making the kicks. Now I'm not so worried anymore. Like, man, I don't know, man. I think he's one of the best GMs in the NFL today, but I also think he's the best GM in the Buccaneers history. Like, he's drafted, and Scotty Miller recovering that fumble where that guy couldn't catch it. Like,
right.
6th round pick. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, most of his guys seem to be trending up. There were some misses, of course, like the whole, what was it, 2017? What was it, Vernon Hargreaves draft? That was like, that was so pathetic. It was but everybody misses, blah blah blah. But it seems like he's really dialed in what they're looking for. Like he always says, like we don't miss on the player, we're not missing on the talent, we're missing on the player, as in like we're listening on the character of the guy. And it seems like the last few years he's really figured out, or his staff and him have figured out a formula for that to not fall into those trappings of those types of players. These are all really solid dudes. Like Sean Murphy Bunting's a solid dude. Like Mike Edwards is, Winfield is, Vita Vea is.
Winfield had a hell of a fucking game too, man.
Yeah, Joe Tryon seems to be a really nice cat. There's not like these... You see in other teams, like these rookies talk out. Look what happened to Henry Ruggs, for God's sakes, man.
Yeah.
Like he killed somebody and their dog, and now like his life's like going to take a massive turn for a very long time.
Yeah.
Life is over.
He'll be back. Not in the NFL, but he's still got the second half of his life to live probably. But I'm just saying, it's like we missed on the Aguayo talent. We missed on Hargraves, the head. Like even the free agents used to bring in Baker, trash. Deshaun Jackson, trash. It was there was just some people that who was the other guy from Curry? Curry, after he left here, he says, I felt like I went on vacation for 2 years.
Yeah.
Like he was just collecting. Yeah, I liked Robert Ayers. He tried. He wasn't that good. He was just all done. So, but I'm with you. He's on an incredible hot streak right now. I hope it continues, and I think it will because, of course, you're going to have your miss here and there, but I think they've really got it dialed in about really after the type of football player they want. They go after the type of person, and I think they've got that nailed down.
Yeah, I think he's killed it. Like I said, his first draft pick was a Hall of Famer. My guy is going to be in the Hall of Fame. You know what I mean? And for you to
probably
for your first draft pick ever to hit it out the park like that is nuts. I don't know if you guys read up on Joe Bucs fan, but for me, being from California, I try to read every content that I can get. They were actually they were bringing up something, and I thought it was kind of hilarious. They were saying that Sean Murphy Bunting was like basically more important to the defense than Vita Vea. Do you guys read up on that? Did you guys catch up on that?
I know the guys from Joe Bucs fan very well.
Yeah, as do I.
As do I. I think Steve Isbitz is vastly underrated as sort of someone who can tell stories about the Buccaneers and actually analyze what's going on. I think Ira Kaufman, even though I love him to death, has been mailing it in since he left the Tribune, the Tampa Tribune. He's just collecting a paycheck and voting on the Hall of Fame. Don't shirk him for it. I don't think he has any insight whatsoever.
Not to cut you off, but he needs to fucking quit eating those beet salads and get my boy Rondé Barber in the Hall of Fame. It's a fucking shame he's not in it. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm with you. That's a big complaint about it. And then there's Lee DeKemper, who is one of the hardest working guys in all of journalism and a very sweet man. But I think his takes are worse than, who the hell were we talking about? Mark Clayton.
Clayton.
His take. Some of his takes are fine, but some of the things he says are just beyond acidine. So, whoever wrote the article, it sounds to me like a Lee DeKemper article to me. What he did is he saw one game where the secondary actually stood up. They threw a couple times at Sean Murphy Bunting. He held up, and we beat the Giants, who were a shitty team, by 20 points. All of a sudden, hey, look, this guy's, more important because look what he did to the secondary. When Vita Vea goes out, we still have, the best run defense because Nacho fills in admirably, blah, 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 blah. Well, look at today. They threw at Sean Murphy Bunting like he was their target. That's who they went after in the second quarter. He was absolute trash. Then they changed the scheme, ended up doing better. Like Steve talked about how he came up and blew up T.Y. Hilton on a screen pass in the third quarter. So I'm going to say no. I can see where they defended it, but that's absolute garbage. He's not good enough. No.
I agree with Ren. Now, if he had said that Carlton Davis was more important to bring back than
Maybe he's a huge
than
Bucs
Vita
fan.
Vea. Maybe,
fan.
yeah.
Snowflake dipped out on us for you listening.
Snowflake bounced. But I think if Lee or whoever it was that said it, because they don't put their names on it, they just write it as Joe. So
Right.
if they had said, getting Carlton Davis would be more important than Vita Vea, I think they would have been closer. I still think they would have been wrong.
Right, but you can make a better argument.
Closer.
Yeah, a closer argument. Because Carlton Davis, I'm with you. Like, well, I don't know if you're here, but I think Carlton Davis is a tier 1 corner. I think he's a shutdown corner in the NFL.
Yeah, I
just don't people understand.
I think he's close to being at that level, like Marshawn Lattimore type.
Marshawn Lattimore is not an elite corner. He had a fantastic rookie year. He has been crappier and crappier every single year.
All right. Well,
in my opinion.
Well, Carlton Davis is almost to that shutdown, like super shutdown, like everybody should know his name.
I'm not saying he's Revis Deion Sanders. I'm saying he's just as good as anybody else in the league. Tier 1. I'm not saying shutdown. I'm saying tier 1 corner.
Okay, that's okay. So
I'm not saying all time. He's not Woodson and Sanders. No.
Yeah, Revis. He's not Revis Island or Deion
no.
where you're. But he's definitely, you got to know where he is on the field when he's on the field.
Yeah,
for sure. So. Yes, I will agree with you completely on that.
Yeah. So anyway, so that's how you can make that argument a little better, especially because you do have the data where, Vita Vea missed like 10, 11 games, and they still were the second best rush defense in all of football, but they had 0 interior pass rush during that whole time because Vita Vea was not there. So it's all about how you look at it, but you could form an argument for it, but not definitely for SMB. Hope Snowflake phone died. Hope he didn't really get mad at us and then just hang up because I said, is he Lee DeKemper's? Is he like his brother or cousin or something maybe?
Let's hope not. But just taking a look at some of the other games that have gone on here today. Of course, the Bucs gain a game on the Panthers and the Saints. The Saints, of course, lost on Thanksgiving. Yep. The Panthers lose today to Miami. The Falcons do beat
Cam Newton's
the Jaguars.
back.
Yeah, that screwed me over in fantasy, but that's another story for another time. Falcons do keep pace, though they are the back end
keep pace 5 lengths off.
Well, but they get a little closer to the middle of the pack because with both the Carolina and New Orleans losing, the Falcons had Jacksonville this afternoon. They win 21-14, so they get a little closer to the rest of the NFC West. They don't get any closer to the Bucs, but I look at it, you're 8-3 now. You've got yourself a little bit of breathing room, knowing that you're going to play Carolina now twice in the final 4 weeks of the season. You still have Buffalo coming here, which I still think is probably the most difficult.
It's the toughest left.
Yeah, that is left. But you're in really good shape to now start thinking about, going not worried about the division, but looking back at looking for that bye. Yeah. Now is the time.
You got the Rams and Packers. You're kind of like your two. Well, I guess it's the Cardinals. I gotta quit dismissing the Cardinals. Like they're still in first place, and
they are still. But you've got Green Bay. If Green Bay loses, they're playing the Rams. If the Rams win, they're now 8-3, and Green Bay's 8-4. And because Los Angeles beat the Bucs earlier this year, they would overtake Tampa Bay for second place in the division. But right now, you're looking at the possibility that you could be within sniffing distance of the first round bye again, which is a huge thing to have. So. Yeah,
and it's going to come and go. It just will. It's just how it is. I mean, there's still since there's 17 games. What are we? There's still
This is week 12.
There's still like 5-6 games left because it goes 18 weeks. So there's 6 games. We got 6 games left. Like it's almost half a season.
Yeah. But to be in sniffing distance, I think is fantastic to have, especially.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Oh.
But did you expect us not to be here at this time?
I'll be honest. I got kind of concerned in the second quarter today.
Oh, right.
I was like,
So did I. Like, I had to fight the urge to tweet, like, I told you, mother effers. Like, I told you. I told you this is going to be the toughest game left.
but
I noticed
yeah,
Corey hasn't chimed in from Nashville because, remember, he told us that Indianapolis is trash and we're going to wipe them all over the floor and all that kind of stuff. And
we love you, Corey.
and I can see how he thought that. Like, watching them, I mean, you know, they just did what everyone else does against us. But, you know, when you're throwing the ball 5 to 0 yards down the field, you're going to complete a lot of them. It's just the way it is. But again, that second quarter was that was just very frustrating.
But yeah, and then the one thing that if you're really hating life is if you bet on the first half of this game on BetUS.com, because I believe it was Bucs minus 3.5 for the first half, and they were down 10. So you were in really bad shape if you bet the first half. I did not bet the first half.
Everything got blown up on me.
Yeah,
I took the Eagles in all of my bets, all teasers and parlays. Yeah,
that's not a good sign. I didn't like this week. I kind of took the week off.
Nice.
So I didn't win anything, but I didn't lose anything this week.
There you go.
I was pretty happy about that. And sometimes you have to know when to stay away from the lines. But I'll tell you that the best lines come from BetUS.com, our sponsor here of the PewterCast, and they've been doing this forever. That's why they have the best lines. 27 years, BetUS.com has been paying out their winners, whether you're talking about the NFL or college football, if you're talking about the NBA or the NHL, and of course the UFC, golf, and Ren's favorite, the ponies.
The ponies.
The Rumble ponies.
The Rumble, that's right. Yeah.
The Rumble ponies. And you can get a little extra scratch from BetUS thanks to the PewterCast. If you go to BetUS.com, use the promo code Pewter with the letter C and the number 225. You can get yourself a 125% sign-up bonus. So, again, go to BetUS.com, use the promo code PewterC, the letter C, and the number 125. You deposit $100, you get $125 extra dollars in sign-up bonus. So you play with $225. It is the best place to get your wager on. Again, you bet, you win, you get paid with BetUS.com. Oh, I know. Like, it's funny. Like, I'm sitting here and I'm still kind of shaky from the end of that game, though. I mean, when you see that guy, take off and he gets the hole from 5 yards in the end zone on the kickoff, and you're on. I mean,
if he would have scored, Frank Wright would have went for 2 for the win.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Even if he was home. Yeah.
Yeah. Even being at home, you go for 2 there because you've got the momentum. You just knocked.
Well, he went
out
to her
jail.
like on 4th and goal.
Yeah.
With no second, nothing halftime. Go ahead.
You've stunned the champ, and now you've got a chance to knock him out. Go for it, absolutely. Definitely go for 2 on that point because you're.
But it was nice to see Tom Brady drive down the field there and actually get a game-winning drive because. They always see the graphic. Oh, he's done this so many times. He's not done it more time than he's done it in Tampa, and a lot of times it's ended in interceptions. Like, there's like 3 or 4 games where it's like, oh, you don't want to have this happen to you. Pick, game over. Like, it's happened.
Look at Washington.
Yeah, or
Washington game,
or Kansas City, or Jesus. Like, it happened 3 times last year. It felt like.
Yeah.
So it was nice to see him go down there and pad that stat, get up in there. And again, like we talked, and we talked about this a little earlier, but the offensive line kind of had their way with Indianapolis's defensive line, and that's kind of where we were told they kind of hang their defensive hat. They do have Darius Leonard, but he's really not good in coverage. We heard their other linebacker's not good, which most NFL teams are. If you got one linebacker, you're thankful. You don't have 2 like we do, and most teams have none. compared to like tier 1 linebackers. But I mean, the offensive line, without Marpet, without Stinney, like when it counted, like they pushed those guys around. And just kind of march down like what the Colts did to us right before.
Yes.
Okay, we're just gonna hand off the ball, and if you can stop us. If you can't, you can't. And
I'll tell you what I did see a little bit of to try and help Leverett a little bit is they kind of like did a little switch, like they kind of like pulled him in pass coverage.
Yeah.
And they used Jensen on Buckner, and they kind of they had Leverett come inside and handle the pressure almost right up the middle, because that way
great coaching.
Yeah, that's smart coaching from
Yeah.
the offensive line coach and from Byron Leftwich, saying, okay, we have to hide the negatives and maximize the positives.
Yeah.
And that's exactly
This
what
guy
they
has
did.
never played an NFL game before in his life. First time he's ever been activated in his life. We might have to help him.
Yeah. and you saw and I when he get on the sack that he did give up, I did see Jensen coming over to try and help. He just was late getting over.
Yeah, he was.
on
Buckner
help.
was just too fast. Leverett just lost too fast, too quickly. He got beat so like right off the snap, and it was like, and he was just playing catch up. I love when offensive linemen just kind of have their hand on that guy's hip, and they're almost like doing like the big steps down the hill, like trying to catch him, like and it's like
It's almost like in slow mo where you're like, no.
Yeah, you're just like, this is not going to end well. They're just trying to like get their hand on their hip or their shoulder just to turn them a little bit to stop their momentum, so the quarterback can sneak through a crack or find a crease. But it didn't happen. But that's fine. When we kind of like repeat all the stuff that he did wrong, it's kind of hard to say that he had a good game. But for what he was put in, I'm not mad at him. Put it that way.
No, you can't be mad at him at all. In fact, Bruce Arians said after the game that Leverett got a game ball for subbing in for Aaron Stinney.
For hanging, they hung one on him with the pitcher. That's just like, you're gonna have to wear this, man.
Yeah, seriously, he was the mop up guy, but he ended up going the rest of the way, and definitely did some good things there. Along with everything that went on. BA also said that in retrospect, he had hoped that Fournette would have gone down at the 2 on the way in for that final touchdown to try and pull some more time off the clock. And
so see that's what I thought too. But so BA would rather attempt a field goal or an old extra point, basically.
Yeah.
Rather than take the 7 with 20. It's only 20 seconds.
Yeah.
It was 2 plays. Wow.
But he could have run. I did.
But if he runs out of the 2, it's not guaranteed.
Yeah.
If he runs out of the 2, or kneels down at the 2, it's not guaranteed you're going to score a touchdown the next play.
No, but you force Indy to burn their final timeout, and then you get another opportunity to go in from the 2, and if you don't, you then can use one of your timeouts and kick the final field goal and leave no time.
I get that, but there's a 7-point lead right in front of you. There's a lot of there's just a lot of things that can possibly go wrong in those 3 plays, and I get it. Like again, this is kind of like the Carlton Davis Vita Vea thing. Like I can see going either way. I'm not going to say one way's right and one way's wrong. It's just that like I always thought the best way to coach was control all the variables you can.
Yes.
So if you tell Leonard to score there, where you're kind of like, oh, damn it. But, I mean, you're up 7. So that really decreases the variables of not winning when you're tied and the ball's at the 2 and you kick this, either make it and win or miss it and lose.
Well, and really, you think about it, if somebody makes a tackle on the kickoff, there's no shot.
Yeah, and they probably don't have, and they probably don't. No one asks him that question, and he probably doesn't even have to answer it or say that. Oh, I'd rather he go down at the 2. I don't know. That's just a different kind of form of philosophy. I'm not. If we were winning, I would have told him to go down. Like if we were winning by 1 and kicked the field goal, and now we're up 8. Now they have a chance to actually tie. if you go down at the 2, game's over. Like, they will never have a chance to tie. Sure, we only won by 1 point. Doesn't matter. But since we were tied, maybe he could have ran around on the 1 yard line until someone hit him and then he fell in the end
like
zone.
Tecmo Bowl, like old Tecmo Bowl style. Or you just run down the
run back in a circle,
run around in a circle like your Bo Jackson in old Tecmo Bowl. Taser says that the one thing that bothered him was the 3rd and 15 run by Wentz.
Oh God!
I mean,
I was so mad at Shaq Barrett
that was
for
the
that.
second quarter.
Yeah, but that's like the 5th or 6th time that's happened to us. Like, now, we got him at 3rd and long, like the C's part, and then the quarterback runs and converts like a crazy 3rd down. He never, ever should convert. And it happens to us like more times than it should. Like, it happens once or twice a year. Like, oh man, that stinks. This happens like almost every game. It feels like now.
Barrett, ended up on the turf, and they're right.
Where he swung way wide. He knows the coverage behind him, and he knows what Sue's doing. Then why the fuck are you running to the pylon and then trying to run behind the goalpost and come to the back of the quarterback?
Maybe he's thinking that guy's going to get called for holding like Tristan Wirfs did last week.
Whatever. No, he didn't do it.
No, he
I was
did
also
not.
pissed. I was also pissed at Shaq Barrett, and then of course he gets like 2 sacks and strip fumble, and covers it himself. It's like, God damn it! Like, I want to be mad at somebody about this game. Maybe I'll blame it on Brady in his first quarter. Well, his first couple drives.
Yeah,
he shook that off pretty quick.
Yeah, I mean, I even tweeted about it, and I know you saw it because you tweeted it that this was not.
Oh, look who's here! Corey from Nashville.
Corey's here.
All right, Corey, we're letting you in. Say your piece, and then we're getting out of here. It's almost been an hour. How are you, man?
Hey, Bucs win. How you think I am? Huh? Hey, well, listen. Now, it didn't quite go as I wanted it to.
Are you sure?
Kidding.
Yeah. I'm just a little, and I just thought we played at a very annoyed pace in the first half. When we were down, we were down 10. I think it was 21-14 or something, or 17-7.
Yeah.
And the immediateness, and I think I made that word up, of how we went down the field and scored a touchdown was so annoying to me. It was so annoying. I'm like, why aren't we playing at this pace the entire half? Okay, and then just like we give up the most response TDs I have ever seen. Like as a defense, it's so funny. But what we did to get back in that game, this is the first thing that we did. We put the game in Carson Wentz's hands.
Yep.
That's what we did. And like true Carson Wentz fashion, he gave us the game right back. Shaq Barrett, who was getting pressure all game, quite frankly, this was probably one of his better games, pressure and results that he's had all season. He was getting pressure all game, sack fumble, and then he throws the ball up to, oh my God, Antoine Winfield. That was probably, if we move up to the 2 seed after this Rams game, if the Packers lose and we move up to the 2 seed, that was probably, and then we continue to ascend in the seeding, that is going to probably be one of our plays of the year. That's my opinion.
Yeah, we can't take the 2. We can't take the 2 seed because if the Rams win, they would also be 8-3, and by virtue of the tiebreaker, they would have the 2 seed.
No. Cardinals are 1 seed.
Cardinals are the
Rams
1.
are in the wild card. Yeah,
well,
Rams can't be the 2. That's only division winners. 1 through 4 is division winners.
He's right.
Yeah, you're right. You're right about that. Okay, so they can be the 2, but yeah, you're right. Obviously, I'm thinking record-wise that they would actually be tied. No.
Record-wise. And that if there was no like division winner seeding, then yeah. But
yes, you're right.
To have an opportunity to be the 2 seed based off the injuries that we've had is amazing. Antoine Winfield's play. And I love our fans to death. But can you imagine if that was Mike Evans letting a 5'9" safety jump over him and pick the ball off? It would have been fucking anarchy. I was like, thank God that was Michael Pittman and not Mike Evans. Which not being able to scheme Mike Evans better in a football game is kind of annoying me.
I led with that. Like, where is he in this offense?
I'm sorry I missed it. Y'all was in the gym.
It's okay.
I had a basketball
it's all good.
I'm sorry
Why
I
we're
missed
here.
that, but
How'd you do? Did you mess around and get a triple double?
No,
Please tell me
not
you
this
messed
game.
around and got a triple
We
double.
won. We won, but no, I don't think I scored the game. I was watching the Bucs game, and then I was, that emotional roller coaster. So my mind was not focused on playing basketball. Let me just say that.
I hear you. I hear you.
I was going like this. But the routes that get Gronk open, those are wide receiver routes. He's not just running stick routes. This man ran a wheel route.
Mm-hmm.
And got behind here. I'm like, okay, that's awesome, man. Gronk is a monster. But damn, we can't scheme that for Mike Evans. we couldn't do that. Up the seam. Up the seam route on that touchdown drive that I'm talking about. Gronk caught it up the seam. I'm like, great, yes, Gronk, let's do it. He a beast. But goddamn, man, could that not have been Mike Evans? Like it's just like Mike Evans sometimes is out there running for cardio, and you're not going to sit here. I can't name 2 defensive backs on the Colts. I'm sorry. We threw 2 jump balls to Scotty Miller. Like Mike Evans is 35 years old and can't get over the top of it. But you know what? I digress. We won the game. Defensively, getting those turnovers was huge.
Yeah.
So to me, going forward, because we have had problems mentally on the road. Let's just face it, okay?
No,
but to me, it gave us some type of fortitude going forward for the rest of the season. I feel really comfortable with Carlton Davis coming back for one, and God, is he needed. But shout out to Pierre Desir getting the interception today. He knows the jump ball. He got it. It doesn't matter.
You and Richard?
And I'm very encouraged going forward because I think that was a turning point in our season. Because like you said, I didn't believe in Colts at all. I still don't. I've been watching them too long. And they did what I thought they were going to do. They had 7 points in the second half. Exactly. Yeah, they played exactly they outplayed themselves in the first half, getting 24 points. It's the most we've given all year and a half. And then they went right back to reality and scored 7 points a half, like they were supposed to do. That's why they're not in the playoffs in the woeful AFC yet. So there's my rant. I'm sorry. I hate that I missed most of the show. But
that's all right, brother.
You guys, we're at 58 minutes. So I know you guys got to get out of here. But
it's true. My contract only says an hour.
It's so great to talk to you guys after. I love your immediate podcast because we have so much to digest. Win or loss.
Right.
And I appreciate y'all letting us do this because I'm much more enjoyable after football games, win or lose, with my family now that I have somebody to vent to. Before you guys, I was hell on wheels.
I know. Poor wife.
My wife locked me in the basement. My wife locked me in the basement. Oh, they lost.
Pace around the bottom of the basement like a tiger, working through your feelings.
But thank you for giving us this platform. I love you guys. And I'll call you again next week. Let's go Bucs, baby!
Yeah, there you go.
Bucs.
Hey,
Good
go
to hear
Rams,
from you,
man.
Corey.
Let's get that 2 seed tonight. Tonight. Rams.
Go Rams.
Yeah.
Thanks, Corey.
Yes, indeed. Thanks, Corey. Hey, get him on the court and he's trouble.
Just ask him.
That's right. He'll mess around and get a triple double.
Don't mess around,
Don't let him fool you. He's freaking guys every way like MJ because he's Ice Cube. Today was a good day.
I don't know what any of that meant.
No, it's lyrics. It's an Ice Cube song from the '90s called "It Was a Good Day," where he talks about like get me on the court and I'm trouble. Last week messed around and got a triple double. That's why I was just going. I was going that route on him. Just had to.
Best place to find me is on Twitter at the PewterCast.
We're going there already. Hold on a second. I know your contract says 1 hour. We still got 15 more seconds. I want to say that coming up on Wednesday, the plan is to have our good friend D'Orlando Ledbetter, the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, join us.
Which is always fun to listen to him talk Falcons.
He's the best.
He's just like, he tells it exactly how it is.
It's why we love him.
We suck.
That's right. Gotta love having D'Orlando in the house. So that should be on Wednesday. Friday, of course, we'll be on to talk about the Bucs side of things and give you our predictions for the weekend. So I just wanted to give you a heads
See
up.
if Barry's made it out of jail.
Oh, poor Barry. You know what?
Still haven't heard from him.
I wonder if there's been weather issues down there, because he talked about how it's the rainy season down there.
Maybe he got washed away in a flash mudslide.
Yeah, maybe he's hanging out with a volleyball. he's with Wilson the volleyball. So, well, we'll find. Maybe we'll have Barry on. Maybe we won't, but we'll definitely have something this week as well. But now you can do the Ren Addiction.
Oh, thank you. The best place to find me is on Twitter at the PewterCast. I'm always down to talk Buccaneers football, but if you think your take's too hot and don't want to put it out there on Twitter, feel free to slide in my DMs, and I'll talk Buccaneers football there with you as well, too.
And you can hit me up. I'm at Steve Carney. And, of course, thank you to our great sponsor, BetUS.com. Subscribe to the PewterCast wherever you get your favorite podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, Google Play, iHeartRadio, and, of course, right here on YouTube. Like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much for joining us here on this Sunday. So until Wednesday, go buck yourself.